Hello everybody, I'm Gabe, also known as Iron Ninja, and today we're taking a look at the LEGO Star Wars Desert Skiff. This is set number 9496 for ages 7 to 12 with 213 pieces. This set was released in 2012 for Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi for around $25 in the United States. It includes 4 minifigures, all of which are exclusive to the set. We got Luke Skywalker, Boba Fett, Kisaba, and Lando Calrissian. And this set is pretty expensive now. It goes for around $50 new. And so I'm so lucky to have this in my hands. But let's get into speed build. So now that I'm all done with the build, let's take a look at the minifigures. So the first minifigure we're going to be taking a look at is Luke Skywalker. So the first thing we're going to touch up on is his accessory. He comes with this nice green lightsaber, which, you know, Luke Skywalker's traditional green lightsaber. I'm not sure if this is the correct handle. I think this is more of a chrome silver, or maybe just more polished than the one he originally came with, because the one he originally came with is now all old and less shiny. But, you know, nice build, normal lightsaber build, with a translucent green piece. And then the figure, it doesn't have a lot of detail. I mean, the only exclusive part to the figure is the torso print. And it does have back printing, which is nice, but no back facial printing, though. Like, no alternate expressions. And this is the Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi at the beginning of the movie, when he was in the desert saving Princess Leia from Jabba the Hutt. And so his outfit is meant to match that outfit that he was wearing, although I don't think it really matches that much because he has no leg printing, so, you know, his robe doesn't continue down onto the legs and you can't really see the rest of it. And so, and I think it's a little too gray. Might need, and I think it's too bright. Maybe it needs to be black, but then they probably couldn't have gotten as much details in there. But other than that, it's a pretty cool figure. And this is the only Luke Skywalker that I have. And this guy is pretty expensive since he is exclusive, so he goes for around $8. Now the next figure we have here is Boba Fett. And this is a pretty cool Boba Fett. And he is exclusive, so I'm not really sure what is different because I don't really have any other Boba Fetts to compare him to. And but other than that, looking at the pictures of the real Boba Fett, or that he was in the movie, this is very accurate. And LEGO did a great job with this. My one complaint would probably be arm printing, although I don't know if they had arm printing back then in 2012. So, but other than that, this is a great figure, except for maybe the head and the jetpack. They're a little too bright of a green, whereas his armor there is a dark green, and that matches perfectly. But the helmet and the jetpack might need to be a little darker. And then he has his little cape here off to the side because, you know, he has the jetpack in the back. And then he has this blaster build, which is just a normal small blaster with a black lightsaber handle, or hilt, as some people call it. And then another thing that's wrong with this Boba Fett is his head is too bright. Like, his skin tone is supposed to be darker, more tan. But then again, they did that with all the clones as well, which was the exact same person. Or, yeah, because they were all clones of Jango Fett. And so Boba Fett is the one clone that Jango decided to keep as his son. This is Future Gabe here, and looking at the reference pictures, I actually noticed that the Boba Fett from The Mandalorian, his skin tone is actually quite accurate, so my bad. And he's got some nice face printing, no back facial printing, but his helmet is nice, and jetpack is nice, and I believe there is back torso printing if you take off the... Never mind, there is not back torso printing. Okay. Well, I guess you don't really see Boba Fett's back, and so they couldn't really get the details of it, but even if they could have gotten some back torso printing, maybe like a few wrinkles in his shirt or something, that might have been a little nice. But this guy is also exclusive to the set, and he's very expensive, goes for around $23. So if you missed picking up this set back then, good luck now. Our next figure we have here is Kisaba, and I'm pretty sure he might be a bounty hunter. I'm not sure. He's probably one of the bounty hunters that Darth Vader hired to get Luke. But this figure is actually surprisingly accurate to the one in the movie, and he does have back torso printing, and his legs are accurate. If I don't think they had dual molded legs back then. If they didn't even have arm printing back then, but dual molded legs nowadays would be perfect. Like the black on the bottom and then red on top. That would have been awesome. In his head, I think his head might need a new mold. But back then they have this face print and then a big bandana on top. But his bandana actually didn't wrap around his entire head like a pirate. It was actually, or like it didn't go over the top. It was just like around the forehead. And so I think a new mold would be better for him. But with what they had back then, this is actually pretty good. His blaster is just normal mini blaster. It matches the Star Wars ones that he had in the show. And overall, this is it for the figure. He's not that expensive, even though he is exclusive. He goes for around $4.50. Now, our last but not least figure we have here is Lando Calrissian in his Skiff guard disguise. And now this is actually a really cool figure. And his disguise in the movie, or how they interpreted it into Lego, is actually really nice. An update to this figure would probably mean, like I said, dual molded legs and maybe some arm printing. But other than that, they got the figure down pretty well. You got this nice helmet mold here, and then you got Lando's face underneath, no back facial printing, and then he does have back torso printing, and the front torso printing might be a little scuffed up, I believe, because it is an old figure. And then his weapon here is just a pearl dark gray spear with a pearl dark gray axe blade to try and replicate the weapon that he used in the movie. I'll see if I can put reference images up from now on. But this figure is, he comes in the set, obviously. He's exclusive to the set, I meant, and he's around $10. The first build we're going to be taking a look at is the Sarlacc. Now, I'm sure most of you may know what this creature is. This is popular for eating Boba Fett, and then somehow Boba escaped that because he appeared in Mandalorian. Sorry if you haven't seen that, spoilers. But this is just a build for like the top of the Sarlacc. If you've seen an actual Sarlacc or like the whole body, those things are massive. They're like big tree roots in the ground. But right here is just like the beak of the Sarlacc sticking out with the little tendrils and then the teeth on the outside. It's really, really weird. But you can actually fit a figure in here, so you can put Boba Fett in there and close it up. And that's pretty funny. I always liked doing that as a kid. This is such a nostalgic set to me. I got this for my 7th birthday, so. But other than that, there's not that much detail on the Sarlacc. I would love to see Lego do like a massive pit with like a big Sarlacc underneath, or at least just like a hole so you can just stick the figure in there and then they just fall in, and then you gotta, I don't know, maybe have like a dispension system or something to get them out. But other than that, the build for the Sarlacc is surprisingly accurate for what they had back then in 2012. But that's pretty much it. It's just nice tan colors, and it's a good way to get a whole bunch of these white teeth pieces as well. Now the Sarlacc pit here measures over 3 inches high and 3 inches wide. Now for the big build of the set, we have the Desert Skiff, or the correct name is the Bantha 2 Cargo Skiff. And so this is actually really accurate, and I love the way this came out. Although there are some things missing, but other than that, for the most part, pretty accurate. These little wings here, I'm not really sure if they're actually called wings, but the tips here are supposed to be spikes or like spears or something. But Lego did the best with what they had back then. I mean, they probably could have stuck in like, I don't know, something like Lando's spear in there. That probably would have been more accurate. Maybe like in black, that would have been nice to get. And then these clear pieces underneath are to make it look like it's flying, and they do come in the set, don't worry. There's actually a hidden trap door right here in the middle, and it reveals 2 blasters in there that you can take out and play with. And then in the back here is where you can pilot the set, or where you can have someone driving it. So you can put like Kisaba sitting there or whatever, playing with the controls and controlling the thing. And there's actually right here a plank, which you guys may remember that they had Luke on trying to knock him off or whatever, trying to feed him to the Sarlacc in the movie. And so this recreates a pretty good scene. If only they had R2 or not R2D2. If only they had, what was his name? Chewbacca and Han Solo. That would have complete the set. They did remake this set a couple years ago. Maybe I don't know when they remade it. I'm not big on Lego Star Wars, but they did remake it, and they took away Luke and Lando, and they added Han and Chewie. And there's actually a flick fire missile here right as well. I actually don't remember there being a missile shooter on the Skiff. Maybe there was, but they just didn't fire it. Actually, I'm looking at a reference photo right now, and I don't see any missile shooter anywhere. So maybe they just added that on themselves. But for the Desert Skiff, it matches the brown color scheme with the tan. It's a pretty cool build, nice to display on a shelf, and it is really fun to play with. Now this build here measures over 2 3/4 inches tall and 9.5 inches long. And it also measures about 5.5 inches wide. Now the box here is a pretty long, like $25 box size. No, the set was $25. I don't know what the box size is. I'll just say $25 for now. And they actually have some nice artwork on here, and they're very clear about these figures being exclusive, new. So I wish they did that in all their Lego sets, confirming that they were exclusive. But then again, we might get those figures in other sets, so they might not be exclusive for long. On the back, we see lots of other shots of the set, so that's pretty cool. And the instructions here aren't really that of like a normal size, and they're made differently than normal instructions. They're more rectangular on the sides or on the edge than circular or round. On the back, we have the old Win Kid, and we also have an ad for Lego Club and some little mystery comic here. Looks like some comic builder thing that I've never heard about that before. We have a list of sets here, and we also have a nice little comic, which is actually really cool. And I believe that's it. And the one thing I love about these instructions is that they don't really rip that easily. They're in really good condition, surprisingly, except for the corner right here. Other than that, the rest of it's amazing. I guess it's just the way they designed it to make it withstand that. So overall, this is a pretty amazing set, and especially for $25 back then, it was great for all the minifigures that it came with. And the one problem that I would have with the set would probably be Kisaba's face. Maybe it could have had new head mold, because they definitely had head molds for stuff like that, and maybe some dual face printing, at least maybe for Luke, because they had dual face printing during Indiana Jones, and that was way before this. So I'm going to rate this set a 9 out of 10. Let me know down in the description what you would rate this set. Don't forget about that 50 subscriber giveaway. I'll put a link to that video up in the card system. And make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.